It's probably taking me longer to walk up here than it is to give the presentation, but there we go. Basically, nothing's happened since last time. So if you, so if you were here last time, you can go back to your email or IRC or something. Right, this is the usual brief overview of proposals. There are two proposals currently actually running. One is regular abuse C validation, and one is IPv6 sub-assignment clarification. The regular abuse C validation one is in the discussion phase. It's gone through the RIPE NCC impact assessment. And basically, RIPE NCC says, well, there's about 70,000 abuse C contacts. It's obviously ridiculous to try and do this manually, so we're putting together a rough mechanism for testing these. And basically what they're doing is checking that there's an MX record, the domain, it looks as though it's registered, and the email MTA is actually available to receive an email message. It's obviously completely impractical to test whether or not the guy at the other end actually responds to that, but at least it will check whether or not the email address is valid and is receiving email. So that's basically what they're going to do. In the long term, what will happen is when the abuse C contact is created, that's when you create the object, the test will be done at that point, and then a year later it will be tested again. Meanwhile, there'll be a regular rolling sort of test of all existing abuse C contacts, which will roll over, and you'll basically be tested once a year. So bear in mind that if you publish an abuse C contact that doesn't work, potentially you can have your IP addresses taken from you. So do make sure they work, please. Right, 2016-04 IPv6 sub-assignment clarification. This is the one about whether or not a /64 is an assignment or whatever. The whole background to this one was that if you have IPv6 PI, that's provider independent address space, it's like all PI space, you shouldn't make sub-assignments from it. And it had been interpreted by the RIPE NCC in the past that if you set up a Wi-Fi hotspot, a guest Wi-Fi area, you are actually assigning address space from that IPv6 network to your customers or to your users. This is an assignment, and therefore you can't use PI for it. That was what this policy proposal was all about. What's been clarified now is that if it's a /64 or longer, then this is not an assignment. So you can use PI address space, you can set up Wi-Fi hotspots, and as long as the hotspot doesn't comprise more than a /64, everything is fine. Okay, that's basically it. So go ahead and use even more IPv6 than you do already. And okay, upcoming proposals, some clarifications to IPv6, and also there's a general sort of tidy up around IPv4. So some of the text in some of the RIPE documents goes back a fair bit of time and probably needs a bit of tidying up. So there's proposals to do some tidying up. And that's it. Anything else? Any questions? Go. Well, once you've got a thing, whatever it is, microphone, that's it.
Hi, Rob Golding, Assutium. What, if anything, are RIPE doing or planning to do regarding GDPR and getting all of the people whose personal information is in your database to confirm they're happy for it to be there or change it to a role?
GDPR is being worked on by the legal department. I'm reliably informed that this will all be in place by the deadline.
The deadline for it becoming law, which was a year ago, or the deadline
for
the deadline, which is in a few months' time?
The deadline by which time will be kicked. But it is actually under. We've been looking at it now for 2 years. So, in fact, working on it for 2 years. So it will be sorted. Anybody else? No? Okay. Thanks, everybody, very much.